We are staring at wars all over the world, all over the world. Our troops are going everywhere, and there's a new report that we are readying troops to go to Israel. We've got ships there, we've got money going everywhere. Are we really wanting to go into a hot war with all these countries that has nuclear capabilities with a president like we have? We have to face the facts. It's not about fear-mongering anymore. He is literally putting us into World War III. Let's jump into it. Today's video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so much for being here today. If you're new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't agree with what I say. But ultimately, let us know in the comments below what do you get out of the video, or if you don't like it or do like it, let us know below. Today's video is all about hot wars. We are literally facing hot wars all across the world. And again, it goes back to, and we've talked about this, I hate to beat a dead horse, but it really does come back to weak leadership in America. When America is weak, then I think everybody else just kind of does what they want to do. There are bad players all across the world, and when we do not have a strong leader in the White House and America strong, you're going to see problems. So we see problems financially, and we see the fact that we don't have a good leader and a staunch commander, and now we're seeing the repercussions of that. So I challenge you, the last 3 years have been really bad for America. Not only is it bad for your inflation and interest and the fact of your dollar, I mean, literally, their study shows that Americans will not have enough discretionary income when it comes to December and January. You will actually be using more credit cards. There will be more Americans living off debt than there will be actually with cash in pocket. That's scary. So now we're looking at Ukraine, which we have given hundreds of billions of dollars to, for no reason, to be honest with you. It's ridiculous. This situation with Israel and Hamas, even though I'm an avid supporter of Israel as a Christian because it is Israeli homeland, it's not the time for America to jump into a hot war. Yes, we can help them. Let these countries, if they choose to go to war, at least make them buy their supplies from us. We don't need to be giving anything to anyone. I think that is preposterous. I believe they need to be purchasing what they need. We help what we can. And if they're an ally, then yes, we step in and we do what we can, but it's not actually putting troops on the ground. We now have 2 aircrafts over there, 2 of the biggest ones we have in our Navy command, and then now we're looking at putting 2,000 troops on the move over to help in some form or fashion when it comes to Israel. Ukraine and Israel both, the President of the United States came out and did an interview saying that it would be to the world's detriment that America is not involved in both these wars. Are we really wanting to move a Cold War such as a proxy war with Russia now to a hot war, which means nuclear capabilities there, and then on top of that, Israel situation with Hamas? I don't think anyone wants that in America, other than the people that's making money off the defense spending. Now here's the catch-22. When it comes to the Democrats, they have pushed for Ukraine and a lot of the rhinos. When it comes to Israel, it tends to tie in a lot more of the conservative base and a lot more of the Republicans. So now if something needs to happen for Ukraine, I'm scared that the Biden administration will tie in Israel to that, and therefore you're going to see a war on both fronts, and we're involved in both. I think they're going to use the justification of sending, 2,000 troops to Israel. They're going to say, well, what can we do for Ukraine? We may not need to leave them out. We need to send troops there. And then all the while, we are depleting our services here. The problem is, it's not the fact that I don't want to show strength or not strength across the world. It's not the fact that I don't want to help anyone and help humanitarian aid or to literally protect borders. But we have a problem here. We have to protect our borders. So when we send our troops all around the world, we are depleting our needs here. Our dollar is struggling. We are struggling. There's reporters asking, can we fight a war on both fronts? And our defense secretary is saying, yes, absolutely, we can provide for both. So they're already thinking through this. Now, what's to say, again, China has come out and kind of said, you know what, hey, hold the brakes. Israel, you should not be going into Gaza. And of course the Middle East saying the same thing. I'm scared Israel is going to push so hard because of the emotions tied to the Gaza Strip that it's going to cause more issues and more people against them. Now, you know, I don't know what to say other than I don't think we need to be involved in a war. I believe Israel needs to do what it can to secure its border and make sure that it takes care of the problem. If they take care of the problem, you going into Gaza Strip is going to cause probably more of an issue than it actually is helping. At this point, you need to do negotiations and use these other countries to help you. The Middle East is going to push against you, and all of a sudden it's going to be Israel versus everybody. And they're not ready for that. And to be honest with you, America is not ready to jump into that war either. Putting 2,000 troops there is 2,000 too many to me. But if we get into a true hot war, or Israel goes into a complete defense of all its borders, that's going to involve a whole lot more troops, a whole lot more aircrafts, and then we're looking at a true World War III scenario. Here's the scary thing. We said that China could use the justification of Russia-Ukraine and how it really didn't affect Russia to go into Taiwan. If all of a sudden they know we need the semiconductors from Taiwan, we're not strong enough to stand on a third front. We're not even strong enough to stand on a second front, to be honest with you. And I think if we had a stronger leader, we could, or we could at least build our military back up to take care of our own borders. But what's to say if all of a sudden China maneuvers into Taiwan? Remember, they're saying they were actually standing with Israel, saying they should, you know, take care of Hamas. However, now they're saying you got to pump the brakes. You're going a little too far. They can use this as, again, another justification for them to move straight into Taiwan, because America really is not showing strength in negotiations with Russia, Ukraine, and they're not showing strength with the situation with Israel and the Hamas and the Middle East. I mean, all these agreements are falling to pieces with Saudis, all that. So weak leadership is now putting us into a third situation where, are we going to put destroyers on the outside of Taiwan? I mean, do we really think that that's the smartest idea? And then again, then you're picking sides. So now we're saying terrorism plus Russia plus China plus Iran plus, again, all the Middle East who has all the oil is going to be against us. And the West, with all the bad economies in the West, and just Israel. It's an unwinnable situation. Why are we putting ourselves in hot wars all for the dollar for the defense spending? It's a wrong approach. America would be strengthened if we show solidarity and we say, look, we want people to protect their borders. First of all, we're going to protect ours. Secondly, we're going to start negotiation, or we're going to cut funding off to all you people. We're going to pump our own oil so we don't need the Middle Eastern oil. We're going to put the sanctions back in, and I'm not talking about these little peony sanctions. I'm talking about nail them to the wall when it comes to sanctions. That's the kind of war that we need to be fighting. It is a true strengthened war with our financial benefits in America and our energy in America. When we start building those two things back up, it's going to build strength across the world, and it's going to make us have the say across the world. But because we have a weakened financial situation, we have a weakened leader who can't even walk upstairs, we are now looking at three fronts of a hot war that has nuclear capabilities in every situation. We are literally looking at a nuclear war. None of these three wars actually benefit us at all. We still have a southern border that's getting invaded, and we're not touching it, and we're worried about three other borders or three other countries. All in the name of money and import-exports when it comes to places like Taiwan. First of all, we should be independent of energy. Second of all, we should be building our own semiconductors. There should be no reason that we are having to import anything in America. Yes, we need trade. Yes, we need to work with other people around the world. But we should not depend on anything else that other people are giving us. That is ridiculous. We should stand with Israel to a point to where it says, look, you have now killed the leader of Hamas. You have taken over the terrorist attack. It's now time to start working on them with sanctions, but we have to get to we have to get to an agreement and lose some of the tension. You cannot face it. Even though you want to, you cannot face Hezbollah, Iran, Syria, and Hamas. I don't think they're that strong to do that, especially when the rest of the world is looking at that situation and saying it's deteriorating rapidly. I don't even know if Israeli troops are strong enough to be able to maneuver in without having mass casualties in the Gaza Strip. It's not a winnable situation. You're not going to rid the world of a conflict that's been going on for hundreds of years when it comes to the Muslims and Jews. It's not going to happen. So now you have to learn to negotiate. Russia, Ukraine, it's the same areas. That is not our battle. That is not our battle to wage. It's not. Why are we doing this? It's unbelievable. We have stoked the fire in Russia, Ukraine more than anyone should have. We could have came to an agreement a long time ago and saved countless money and countless lives. But it's Biden. It's his administration. It's these policies that is literally tearing America apart. And all the while here on our shores, we are not defending, and we are polarized by who we support and who we don't support. Have you ever thought, when the people of America can't stand together in solidarity and all these other little wars are happening, it sides America. It makes people choose one way or the other. There's no in the middle ground to say, look, we're going to work together for solidarity and peace across the world. No, it makes this side's this side's good, this side's bad, this side is doing this area I believe in, this place I don't believe in. I want to make sure their borders are safe. You see, it makes such a polarized situation where our cities are literally fighting, the people are infighting, and it just makes for more regulation, more government overreach. The more we put ourselves in wars that we should not be in, the more we become skeptics, the more we become warmongers, the more we become experts in the Middle East, which we're not, the more we become experts in Russia-Ukraine matters, and we're not, the more we become worried about the Asian Pacific, which we shouldn't. It's so easy. Build a strong leadership. Make pride happen in America, where you put people back to work. You secure our borders. You become energy independent. When you start doing that, the solidarity situation here and the strength of America's policies will blow up, and it will make changes happen across the world, because then we're going to have a powerful, powerful tool. It's our finances. It's our money. It's our word. And when we have that, that makes peace happen across the world. Love him or hate him. Trump did very good at this. No matter what you thought of him personally, should he hush his mouth some? Is he a little egotistical? Yes. But what he did is he made the world more peaceful. He did. You may not agree with him. I don't care. You had more money in the bank. You had lower gas prices, and your groceries cost less, and you literally had better retirements, and you had peace. So think about that. Don't worry about the R or the D behind their name. Don't worry about all the politics and all the crap that the media is spinning on you. Think about you personally. You had more money, you had more retirement, you had cheaper gas and goods, and you had peace. Your kids were not going to fight wars they shouldn't be in. Think about that. In conclusion, America cannot fight one front, two fronts, or three fronts, especially after fighting a 20-year war that we tucked our tail and ran and left supplies there. We cannot listen to people in propaganda pushing us into more wars on either side. Stand and make America strong. When America is strong, we can face anything. Again, as I said, I believe we don't need just physical strength. We need spiritual strength. We need revival. We need a revolution. We need true turning back to a pride in America that we have lost. And it comes down to the education center that we're lacking on. It comes down to us not taking care of our own people. We got to quit looking at taking care of everybody else's houses when our house is falling down. Give me your thoughts on this video. I really hate that we're having to deal with this. And I have 6 kids, and it scares the mess out of me thinking that they have to grow up in this. So therefore, I'm trying to not only mentally and physically and emotionally prepare them, I want to spiritually prepare them, because they're going to face harder times here in America. And I believe, you know, as a Christian, I believe that's the only way that we're going to be able to face this head on. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.